Well, they call it the official Spirit of America, and its official day is June 14th. Tomorrow is National Bourbon Day, so here to celebrate and whip up a cocktail everyone will enjoy is David DeFazio, co-founder of Wyoming Whiskey. So thanks for celebrating with us today. Everybody knows that I come from a whiskey family, and I like the bourbons, I like the Scotch, I like the Irish whiskey, but bourbon is quintessential America, and we're ready for a bourbon lesson. What makes bourbon bourbon?
In 1964, the Congress enacted an act that set 6 rules that defines bourbon. 1, it has to be made in the United States. There's a misnomer out there that it has to be made in Kentucky, which is not the case. So it could be made anywhere within the geographic 50 states. Number 2, it has to be made with at least 51% corn.
Okay.
2, it can't come off the still any higher than 160 proof. It has to be entered into a barrel no higher than 125 proof.
Okay.
It has to be aged in a new charred white American oak barrel. And then at the end of the aging process, you can't add any flavoring or coloring to the actual whiskey, or else it disqualifies it altogether.
Okay, so these rules have been around for many years, and it's not bourbon unless it follows all 6 of those rules. And we can make, and some people have this, they believe this myth that it can only be from Kentucky, but that is not true. It just has to be made in America, and there's lots of people that make it. How do you set Wyoming whiskey apart from any other bourbon in America?
I think the greatest differentiator is the fact that where it's made, the influence of the environment on the aging process is going to have a huge impact on the ultimate flavor profile of the product. And a gentleman named Lincoln Henderson, who is just a titan in the industry, who has since passed, once told me, as the flavor wheel of whiskey goes, 10% is the ingredients, 30% is the yeast you choose, and 60% is the maturation process. So while the grains, which are all grown here in Wyoming, are very important, and the 2 yeasts that we use are very important in setting the flavor profile, it's the maturation out in the middle of sage fields and other rangeland grasses with huge temperature swings from, in a day we could get a 50-degree temperature swing very easily here. Midsummer could be 135 in the warehouse. In the middle of winter, it could be 5 degrees. And that's very good for aging whiskey. It's tough on people, but it's good on aging whiskey.
That's why you need the whiskey. Okay, well, I love that we're celebrating with a bourbon that's, from Middle America, from those flyover states that we don't think about all the time. So you're going to whip up a cocktail to celebrate. What are you making today?
We're going to make a Wyoming Mule, which is the first cocktail that we ever made. We called it the Nelson at first because the town of Kirby, where our distillery is, was founded by the Nelson family. But the Wyoming Mule, I think, is a little more understandable to folks who know what mules are.
Yes.
So you're going to fill your glass with ice.
Okay.
This is a great summer cocktail. You're going to take bitters. And remember, it's really tough. It's really easy to over-bitter a cocktail.
Yes.
You're literally putting 1 dash of bitters in your drink.
Ooh.
This is a very concentrated ingredient.
Okay.
You're then going to take your lemon. And if you squeeze a half of a lemon into a glass, that's going to give you about a 1/4 ounce of lemon juice. I know a lot of people don't measure out their ingredients, but that's a good way to judge it.
Yes, I'm not measuring today.
Fair enough.
Which might get dangerous when we pour the bourbon.
Well, yeah, the later in the day it gets, the heavier the pours get, right? So then you're going to do 2 ounces of bourbon on top of what we've put in already. And always make to taste. Whatever you like as a consumer is how you should drink it.
Okay.
And then on top, you're going to put roughly 1 to 2 ounces of ginger beer on the top of it all. We give it just a gentle stir. A finger works as well.
I'll use my knife. I'm back in college.
There we go. And then garnish it with a lemon.
That's a beautiful drink. I love the color of it. I used to always order whiskey and ginger beer. I would order a whiskey and ginger, and then sometimes they would give me a ginger ale. Now I know I can order a Wyoming Mule and I'll get this beautiful, lovely drink that I think is just absolutely perfect for summertime. I'm going to give it a quick sip here.
The dash of bitters really sets it apart, along with the big squeeze of lemon.
It really, the bitters adds a whole different note to it. This is a very balanced drink and it's a great drink for, ooh, I got that ginger on the back. This is a great drink for summer. And the Wyoming whiskey, it has such a distinct, I'm smelling vanilla. I'm smelling, it has a great bouquet on it. When I'm tasting a Wyoming whiskey, what should I be looking for? What do you taste on your palate?
Our base flavor profile is caramel, orange, vanilla.
Oh, see, look how good I am. I've had too many whiskeys in my life. Well, where can we find Wyoming whiskey all the way out here in California so that we can celebrate National Bourbon Day?
So we're distributed across the entire state of California by our NDC. And so if your liquor store doesn't currently carry it, you could ask them to bring it in. And there are 3 different products that are offered in California currently, along with some specialty items that are offered seasonally.
Okay, well, perfect. I love this cocktail. I have another cocktail in my repertoire. David from Wyoming Whiskey, co-founder of Wyoming Whiskey, happy National Bourbon Day. Cheers, my friend.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
And if you're looking for some summer recipe inspiration, look no further. Recipes from Cacique Foods. That's next.